Hi, everybody. This is one of the decision support tools that we talk about for catchment planning. This is a great tool. It's free to use. It's called Flourish, and you can find it at flourish.com. What it does is it takes tabularized data, Excel spreadsheets, and puts it into a way that you can explore it and present it. It's really easy to use, and it's a great way of using decision support. Now, I'm going to go through an example here of a plant selection tool that we've created. What we've done here is we can add in some instructions of how to use your tool. But if you think about it here as well, what we've done is gone into like what sort of outcome people might be after as well. So we've got a range of plants, probably, don't know, over 100 plants in there. And then all it does is filter them. So if we look at our outcome that we're after, soil conservation, and see how it's shuffled around. Commercial potential, you can see how it's shuffled around again. Drought tolerance and flooding tolerance. So we've used the four main categories that were suitable for our catchment that we're in question of. And then we've looked at a second thing, which is the habitat type as well that we're looking at. So for example, riparian habitat, and if we want them to be flooding tolerant, it'll be in this situation here. If we want it to be riparian habitat and soil conservation, it'll shuffle them around again, etc. So let's go drought tolerant. Then if we look at this dial right the way around from the top, going right to the upper left, this is most applicable in the riparian habitat and drought tolerance, through to the least applicable for drought tolerance and riparian habitat. So if we look at that again, all it does is shuffle around the data. So we go commercial potential, shuffles it around again. So we've got a poplar species that's most useful to be commercial potential in a riparian habitat, right the way through to least useful. And if we click on one of these, we can actually bring up any of the stats around this plant as well. So obviously normal things like the Latin name and the planting zone that it's useful for, the environmental tolerances, co-benefits, emissions trading scheme eligibility. So you can just load data into this big table in the background and pull it up in whichever way that suits the user. I think it's really special. So if you look at this, it could be, commercial potential in an upland situation, which is probably a more normal place to put commercial trees in. And you can see the very typical radiata pine there coming in. Again, we can click on it for any information that we need. And it's shuffled right the way around to most useful, least useful in the commercial potential. Now, if we have a look at that again in a different way, soil conservation, of course, it'll shuffle them again. So we should have kawa poplar and other poplars quite high up here, but we've got other soil conservation plants as well. And it's starting to get into some more natives because we don't have that same commercial challenge that we did have. So you can see a few of those plants have dropped off from a soil conservation point of view, and it's only pulling out the most useful. So it gives the user a chance to have a look, explore those plants that might be in the top 5 or 10 or 20, or whether they're native or not, and make really good decisions. So choose the ones that most suit them. So that's all it is. So that's Flourish tool. Really good at presenting tabularized data out of spreadsheets in particular, and presenting in a way that enables us to make a good decision. So this is one for a community group that we've worked for, but I would, challenge you to go and have a look at it. It's really useful, really easy to use, really intuitive. Okay, thanks. Bye.